Welcome to TVC News Update.
I respect you as a father. Please don't do this. You cannot do this. Please, as a father.
You are not the returning officer.
You are not the returning officer.
Wait for the returning officer. By no.
Oh no. Oh.
That's the development in Adamawa State, where there was chaos at the Yola office of the Independent National Electoral Commission earlier today as the resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Yunusa, in the absence of the returning officer, declared Aishatu Binani of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the governorship election in Adamawa State. The Collation Center went on recess in the early hours of today after announcing 10 of the 69 polling units. The returning officer, Mohammed Mele, had adjourned the sitting till 11 a.m. The resident electoral commissioner was challenged by other party agents, saying he was not in a position to announce the result. Let's talk to our senior correspondent, Ayodele Ozugbakun, who is joining me live from the Collation Center for more updates. Thank you so much for joining us, Ayo. What more do we know about the confusion in the Adamawa State Local Collation Center?
Yes, Ibrahim, at about now we are meant to reconvene. That was the normal time that was given by Professor Abubakar Mili, that's the Vice Chancellor of University of Maiduguri. He said by 11 a.m. that this sitting will be reconvened. Just before he went on recess yesterday, about 1 a.m., before we went on recess yesterday, 10 out of the 20 local government results actually were announced. We had 67 polling units, and out of the 67 polling units, the one for the 10 local governments were announced, and we were waiting for 10 more local governments, and after the 10 more local governments, it's going to be collated with the results we had on ground for March 18, 2023. So that we can get the official declaration. The way it is that at the end of everything, the chief presiding officer here should be the Vice Chancellor of University of Maiduguri. That's Professor Mohammed Mili. That's the Vice Chancellor, returning officer. But at about 9 a.m. this morning, the resident electoral commissioner came here. He came here with the Commissioner of Police, and he announced Aishatu Binani as the winner of the supplementary election. And a lot of people were shocked because the party agents were in here, stakeholders were in here, observers were in here, journalists were in here, but TVC News is the only station that was on ground and exclusively were able to show you the visuals earlier, and we showed you how the man, Barrister Hudu Yunusa, the resident electoral commissioner for Adamawa here, actually announced that result. I have the party agent of the People's Democratic Party here with me, and I also have the party agent of the All Progressive Congress also here with me. Now, you got here and it was said that the resident electoral commissioner had declared the APC as the winner of this exercise.
Do you believe that, Ayo? Do you believe that? This is a nightmare. This is a drama. This is the wildest, the most crudest, the most criminal, the most treasonable offense anybody of sin mind has ever committed.
You're on live TV. I would advise you to tone down.
No, I am saying, I know.
Please, I insist.
I know.
Unless I'm not going to continue this interview.
Why?
You're on live TV.
Why are you covering just like BTC?
You have to tone down.
Why should I tone down?
No.
Why will TVC be here even in the first place, recording and broadcasting an illegality when the protocols were not followed? You are here. Yesterday, you interviewed me. I say we are still very conscious and very feverish about the behavior of the resident electoral commissioner. What this man have done is null and void and is of no consequence. Let me borrow the legal jargon, because the protocol of declaration of results were not followed. The laws of this country, the constitution has not been followed. The electoral guideline has not been followed, and the guideline of the INEC has not been followed.
What do you expect to happen 11? Do you still expect the returning officer
to come here? The returning officer will come here and we will continue the collation of this result. The remaining 10 local government results will come and be collated, and result will be declared, because Nigeria is a country that is governed by law and Nigeria is a rule of law country. And even Mr. President Muhammad Buhari is the president who is the #1 beneficiary of rule of law. He was elected in this country. Nigerians give him their mandate to become president. He was not declared under hide and call like this. It is the duty of the president as the custodian and the keeper of the law of this country to make sure that the right things are done. Okay. What Hudu have done is treasonable, and the Inspector General of Police, the Commissioner of INEC, should declare him persona non grata and immediately ask for his arrest.
I understand.
Anywhere.
I understand.
Thank you very much.
To come to bring that. Well, that's the atmosphere here at the Collation Center. Right now, people who had just converged here waiting for the 11 a.m. appointed time for the collation to start. And as at the time I showed you here, 10 a.m., we didn't have anybody in this hall. And Barrister Hudu Unisa came here at about 9 a.m. this morning. And he came here with the Commissioner of Police, and he said, you know, as the person that presided over the election proper, that he returned the APC candidate. And if I want to take you through the mathematics of it, mathematically, before we had the rerun of yesterday, the lead candidate, that's the People's Democratic Party, was leading with 31,620 votes. That's the position. Now, the number of people that actually collected the PVC were put to over 36,000. A lot of people looked at it like it might just be an academic exercise, that it's going to take a miracle for the APC that Itato had 290-something thousand in the March 18th election, and Governor Fintiri was leading with 333,000 votes, and he needed just like a formality to brace the 36,000 votes. And having in mind that out of the 41,000 people that were actually accredited, 41,000 people, registered voters, in those 69 polling units, we just had 36,000 people, a little bit over 36,000 people that actually collected their PVC. So one thing is sure, we've not seen the breakdown of the election, because out of 20 local governments, just 10 local governments was actually read out yesterday at about 1 a.m. 10 local governments. Of the 10 local governments, we have the figures. We might not be announcing that officially now, because we're still waiting for the 10 other local governments that will complement the 10 we've had before. But from what we saw yesterday, the number of turnout and everything, we might not get 70% participation out of the 36,000 we were waiting to see. So we just expected that at 11 o'clock today, the returning officer, that's Professor Muhammad Umili, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Maiduguri, and some other officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission will come here and actually continue the process of collation. It stopped at 10 local governments. We're expecting 10 more other local governments. So for 10 more other local governments is what we're expecting now. But by 9 a.m. this morning, as we showed you earlier, exclusively on TVC News, we showed you earlier that the resident electoral commissioner that is in charge of Adamawa State, that's Barrister Hidi Unisa, actually came here to declare Aishatu Binani of the All Progressive Congress as the winner of that particular election. So this has sent the Independent National Electoral Commission office here in a kind of frenzy, and the atmosphere is tense, and there's a kind of air of uncertainty in and around INEC office. It's getting very, very interesting, and we are just waiting. This is a little bit past 11, and we've not seen any sign of returning officers here. We've not seen any sign of those other agents that will be presiding over this thing to come and officially declare the results. I don't know, maybe they're going to tell them to head to the tribunal, but I can tell you from what you see, the agents of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the agents of the People's Democratic Party, all other party agents, they are not happy about the situation. They believe that the situation has not been transparent. And I also talked to a representative of Yaga Africa earlier, and earlier I spoke with you at 10 o'clock, and we asked you about the situation here. Yaga Africa is known to monitor and cover election. You told me you had 69 people across those 20 local governments monitoring the results.
Yes.
At about now, you'd have had the breakdown of the results. And officially, we are meant to, act on anything that is official. Officially, 10 local governments were released yesterday. Just take it from there.
Yeah, officially, we left here around after 1, and before then, 10 result was announced by the returning officer. From 10 local government was announced by the returning officer. And from the 10 local government, we had 20 local government where the by-election took place. And in the 10 local government that were announced, APC had 3128, where PDP have 4085. That is officially
3,128.
Yes, and 4,085. That is officially
4,085
Yes.
for the People's Democratic Party.
Yes, exactly.
Out of 10 local governments.
Yes, that was announced. So the reg came in yesterday after 1 and announced that we are going to convey here by 11 o'clock and continue the process. By then, the remaining local government must have returned. I was at home when I now received a call. I saw a call threading into my phone. I waked up and they told me that the reg have come in with Commissioner of Police, DSS, and Director of Civil Defense. I took my car and I rushed. On coming here, I saw the reg making an announcement and declaring.
You're conversant with election, the procedure.
I have been observing elections since 2003.
Now, is it possible, at what situation will he take the rec to announce results, not returning officer?
Well, by electoral law, it is returning officer that declared results, except if the law have been changed overnight. But according to electoral law, the procedure that have started happening since yesterday here was in line with the electoral law, where each local government returning officer comes in with his result, submitted it with the state returning officer, and the state returning officer now announces it in the presence of the stakeholders and asks if there's an observation. And everything was moving smoothly when the 10 local government result was collected yesterday. We are expected to convey here as stakeholders by 11 o'clock, announced by the same Residential Electoral Commissioner, the REC. Why will he come here by 9? And where did he collect, how did he collect the remaining 10 local governments when the stakeholders are not here? How did he collect it? And where did he collect it? And why will you just declare another candidate without collecting the remaining 10 local governments? If this illegality continues in Nigeria, believe me, anybody can rise and declare somebody governor.
Okay.
And that is not good for the law.
Thank you.
That is not good for the nation.
I want to thank you for your contribution from Yaga Africa.
We must start doing things the way the law wants, and we must start doing things together in which all heart must accept it.
Okay. That's about the drama playing out at the Yola office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Collation Center. It's quite dramatic, I can tell you, quite dramatic. All the agents, all the observers, security agencies, they've been thrown into a kind of pandemonium, and everybody is in shock. They are yet to absorb that news and information actually declaring the All Progressive Congress by the Resident Electoral Commission as the substantial winner of the rerun exercise we actually have. Don't forget that there was a kind of, by the Independent National Electoral Commission, it was declared as inconclusive. And when election, what made it to be declared inconclusive, when you look at the margin of victory, so I beg your pardon, between Aishatu Binani and Governor Fintiri. Governor Fintiri had 420-something thousand votes, and Aishatu Binani had 320-something thousand votes, 390-something thousand votes, and it was just a victory of just over 40,000. And the number that were actually cancelled, the number of words that were actually cancelled superseded the number of leads. So as a result of that, that result was declared inconclusive. Right now, they now said we're going to have it in 69 polling units across 20 local governments. The situation there is officially 10 of those polling units have been declared, and it's expected that 10 other local governments will be declared, so that they will put it together, and the collation process, proper collation process, and a declaration is expected from the returning officer, who is the Vice Chancellor of University of Maiduguri, Professor Abubakar Mili. That is the situation here from the Collation Center.
Right. It's quite interesting, quite intriguing things happening, from the location where you are. According to the regulations and the guidelines of the Electoral Act, the conduct of elections, for the 2023 elections, Section 78 and 79, stipulated that it has to be the returning officer that would declare the winner, to return the winner of the election that is being conducted, particularly here, a case of gubernatorial election. But then talk to us about we see what is going on within the room where you are, but what about outside? Are you getting any feelers? What's the situation like, security-wise, any form of breakdown of law and order, and what are we likely to see going forward?
And it's a Sunday. A lot of people, they've gone to church. A lot of people, they are inside. It's quite quiet and very calm around Yola. Coming from Jimeta and Yola, the movement has been very, calm. Security agencies from polling units from each of the intersections, one by one, they've decided, they've cordoned off everywhere. Military men, before access was not even granted. People were not even allowed to access this facility for the fear of breakdown of law and order. So what they did now is that these security people, they've taken over town in anticipation of whatever reaction to this declaration. So a lot of people in Adamawa State, they don't know what is happening now. They are not aware of this development now. And I told you that TVC News is the first TV station that actually broke this story at about 9 a.m. when the resident electoral commissioner actually came here to make that announcement. So the information is just filtering in gradually, and they are yet to absorb the shock of what might happen. But one thing is clear here, we want to observe INEC. We want to see if INEC is going to react. We want to see if the returning officer is going to surface here. We want to see if they're going to have all the officials as promised by 11 o'clock. So we're going to be waiting here every hour till the expiration of today to know if we're going home with that 9 o'clock declaration, or there will still be another declaration, Ibrahim.
It's going to be like, keep close tabs on this for us, Ayodele Ozugbakun, Senior Political Correspondent. Thank you so much for the update that you've been giving us so far. But before